Hey yo, Eli, can you keep it short?
So, Jujutsu Kaisen is back in more ways than one, meaning I'm back in more ways than one. Unfortunately for me, as it turns out, my two fallen angels seem to not be condemned to Dante's Inferno just yet. Maybe they're waiting for revelations to pass. Though, was Jujutsu Kaisen ever really gone? I've covered its fanbase and their nature extensively over the past few months, and with the looming threat of MAPPA's beautiful adaptation capabilities re-energizing the worst parts of the story, I was always aware that the series would come back one way or another, and I do have some ideas on how I want to tackle the anime. But a franchise? That was unexpected. Simply put, I was led to believe Gege Akutami was above such things. His work was touted as deconstructive of the genre, and despite my problems with the series, I did agree. But now, Jujutsu Kaisen has become the very thing it seeks to parody. Shonen battle manga that has now been commercialized. Simply put, I thought we left the need for people like Miyamura behind in 2024. By the way, I'm not mad at him. While I completely understand league culture being a nuisance after all of the high horse behavior the fandom has displayed, and the patience they have for a manga that fell apart the moment it hit WSJ's seams, it's kind of deserved. Because if terrible and rushed translations and an annoying pompous attitude is what it takes to quote-unquote ruin Jujutsu Kaisen, and not the bad storytelling choices that plagued its second half, then that says more about you than him. Although maybe part of me is saying that because I know if I diss him, I'll be blocked and I won't be able to see the leaks. He's an account with thousands of people awaiting his beck and call, and his followers have been a sustainable dopamine factory for the better part of 2 years. It's not his fault he's a slut. Now, there's nothing wrong with a spin-off, though Jujutsu Kaisen's general reputation would have you believe this series is smart and methodical. Everything is meticulous and everything is planned out. So, an unexpected sequel series, and more to come, kind of puts certain things into perspective. But let me not get ahead of myself. Is the new manga any good? It was fine. I mean, what else is there to say? It seems as though a few things have indeed carried over from Jujutsu Kaisen. The world seemingly still revolves around the idea of strength, and while Yuta and Maki did their best to instill a sense of nonconformity in their grandchildren, the world quickly wants to put them in their quote-unquote proper places. A monkey with no energy should be sheltered, and a mere woman should not have the most important artifact in the clan just to show off some sort of familial bond. And this divide in familial roles have put a strain on our main siblings, so I guess Yuji and his friends didn't change shit after all.
I knew it!
In fact, them being gone seems to be the catalyst for things getting worse. The art is way better, even if I am missing Gege's choreography. Mangakas can never find a good balance of polished art and fights with real weight and movement, which wouldn't even be noticeable if the way the fights were illustrated weren't the only good things about how Jujutsu Kaisen looked back then. I guess beggars can't be choosers. More importantly, aliens, huh? I've spent years painstakingly trying to articulate and word properly my grievances with JJK. I've spent so long trying to help people understand why I feel the way that I do. But this is my line in the sand. I have no ill will for people who liked this chapter and are excited about the prospect of more Jujutsu Kaisen. But if you can't fathom nor understand why someone would find
aliens
in Jujutsu Kaisen is stupid, especially if they're going a pseudo Naruto route and making them the origin of cursed energy, then just don't even talk to me. You're so Akutami pilled, you're not even gonna want to hear me out in the first place. First chapters are so important, especially for battle shonen. Hell, I have problems with JJK's first chapter, like a lot. Like, I can make a whole video going through why I didn't think it worked, but it at least set the tone. So as first chapters go, this one was, again, fine, especially since this will be a bit of a short series, but nothing immediately grabbed my attention, especially since the things they brought up were things JJK also brought up and resolved, even in very unsatisfactory ways. Nothing in Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo immediately screams, this is why I felt the need to expand this series further in the sequel. Not yet, anyway. Although I did miss Gege's sense of humor, there were a lot of jokes in this chapter that made me laugh.
aliens?
I've always been of the mind that JJK isn't as smart as maybe it wanted to be or how people perceived it, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with a series and author knowing their own limitations and expectations. On the other hand, there's nothing wrong with a series that's ambitious. And Jujutsu Kaisen struck me and many people as a series that was ambitious, but because of a lot of choices the manga made that led to underdeveloped characters, the untapped potential of its setting, the story and its fans trying to make up for all of this with its symbolism, imagery, and references to real-world thinking, Jujutsu Kaisen's ambition was, to me and a lot of others, never fully realized. And when the series ended, it tried to ensure a happy ending for the characters, but as I've explained in the past, the characters are still left to suffer in the world they have to fight every day for a society that, at least on the surface, seemingly has not changed much, which are all things I've talked about and will seemingly have to keep talking about for content. Yay. But Gege Akutami, to me at least, made another poor decision outside of the story. Instead of using the self-awareness he displayed in interviews about his own story's flaws to improve and write something new, he chose to go back and try to either fix, expand, or confuse Jujutsu Kaisen even more. Seemingly. Who knows, maybe this new series will be very good, but for me, I just wish we left the IP behind and focused on newer and greener pastures, especially because the concept of a sequel spin-off seems to fly in the face of everything people thought Jujutsu Kaisen represented, and honestly to me, everything it tried to say. In the end, I was right. Despite the positive ending this series mustered through complete tonal dissonance, the cycle of curses has continued and continues to plague the lives of characters who don't deserve it, a society who has thrived off of it, and the few people like me who are just sleepy and want to be left alone from Gege's tomfoolery. Oh well, at least it's not the Hell Arc.